What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to give you a mini petite professional gaming opinion on Unbeatable White Label. This is a weird one and a bit different to what I'd normally cover, but I have enjoyed it, so I figured I'd point some more eyeballs at it. Unbeatable White Label, hereafter referred to as White Label because god that's a mouthful, is something that popped up as a recommendation on Steam for me. Described as a side story set in the world of D-Cell Games' upcoming rhythm adventure. It's free to play. Ooh, free anime music story game. Let me just get that installed. So let me get this out of the way up front. It's not free to play as in infinite DLC or microtransactions. It's free as in this is actually quite a clever advertisement. It's a standalone game promoting a Kickstarter to fund a full game of the same premise, entitled, obviously, Unbeatable. Although, on that score, I'd suggest it's a little weirdly timed. This appeared on Steam on May the 7th, and the Kickstarter campaign ended on May 8th. I then found it on May 11th, and was unable to give them any money. Huh. I doubt I'm alone in that. So, White Label. It's an anime rhythm game which seems really familiar to me. Anyone remember Muse Dash? 100 internet points if you do. It was the first game I ever reviewed in the professional gaming opinion format. An anime rhythm game. I don't know if I've missed a thing where this is a popular style of game in the Asian markets, just like a whole genre that never made it to the West or something, but mechanically White Label is doing a lot of the same stuff as Muse Dash. You are Beat, an anime girl of the punchy musician personality type. Enemies scroll across the screen towards you in 2 tracks, coincidentally in time with the music, and you must punch them to the rhythm. Things are broken up with some platforming sections where you can wander around and interact with things and talk to folks to get some story. You also get a snippet of Beat's backstory before certain songs to flesh out the character a bit. Much like Muse Dash before it, it's basically a 2-button game. Press any of the face buttons to punch the top track, and anything on the D-pad to punch the bottom track. Punch enemies and avoid spikes, which is just punching the other track so the spikes don't hit you. There are long enemies which you'll need to hold the note for, and sometimes enemies on both tracks at the same time. Standard rhythm fare, really. The real twist in the formula is that sometimes enemies will start coming from the opposite side, if not both sides at the same time. It doesn't happen so much on the lower difficulties, but as you step up, it'll happen more and more to really keep you on your toes. Stylistically, I love White Label. In contrast to the bright, clean Saccharine style of Muse Dash, White Label feels really grungy. They're going for a VHS tape kind of style. It's noisy, there's loads of chromatic aberration and screen shake. I've seen criticism that it all interferes with the gameplay too much, but honestly it's not really bothered me, and you can turn it all off in the options. You can even fade out the background if you want to focus purely on the music without being bothered by such petty things as aesthetics. The music is decidedly what I'd call anime music, if that's a genre. Pretty sure it's not, but it's a bit more rocky than I recall anything in Muse Dash being, which, again, is in keeping with the style. The band behind it is called Peak Divide, but as is tradition, there's also a bunch of guest artist remixes of all the music too. Right now, White Label feels a bit rough around the edges, a bit early access, if you will. There's only 12 tracks so far. There are, at time of writing, undeniably game-breaking bugs, which I know they're scrambling to fix. There's a very limited number of what I'd describe as pretty crude enemy designs. I've no idea what over half of them are meant to be. And a lot of it, especially much of the UI design, feels pretty unintuitive. It takes a hot minute to figure things out. It took me far too long to realise I could change the difficulty, for example. But if it's rough, then I think it's a diamond in the rough. They do seem to be looking to take feedback on board and polish it from there. And they also claim it'll be an episodic thing, so there'll be more content coming down the line later. And then it's worth coming back to the fact that this is all in addition to the full game Unbeatable coming out later on. Because again, this is kind of a playable advert. I feel like there's a word for that. Dermo? Nah, I don't know. So, yeah, it feels like kind of weirdly petty and pointless criticizing an advert. Like if you watched a TV ad and went, well, I could have done that better. But it is still a standalone product on Steam that you can get. And it is free. And I have enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to seeing what they do with it. Thanks as always to my lovely channel members, Weirter, Tolkus and Silent Owen, for supporting the channel. If you'd like to see your name in the credits with them, consider becoming a channel member by hitting the join button below. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if not, feel free to leave a dislike instead. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.